Do you guys know what's going to happen next weekend? Well, I'm going to celebrate my birthday, but also we're all going to celebrate the Cotton Cuts Tree of Life Puzzle Mystery Quilt because the clues will start shipping. I am so excited. I've done a number of the Puzzle Mystery Quilts, and they're so easy to do because the pieces are pre-cut, pre-measured, all of that jazz. I just get the clues and I get to sit and sew. I'm not lying, guys, when I say that the Puzzle Mystery Quilt was the first block of the month that I ever finished.
Hey guys, it's Beth Goody from Goody Goods. I am taking over social media this weekend here at Cotton Cuts, and I'm super excited for this opportunity. But this weekend is all about Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery. With Tree of Life starting here very soon, I have a few mystery clues to put together from Carnival, and so we are going to do a great Cotton Cuts catch up, okay? We're going to catch up on Carnival before the first clues of Tree of Life come because I don't want to be behind on one when one's about to begin. That is just not acceptable. So follow along with me this weekend here on this page to watch me catch up on Carnival Puzzle Mystery, and let's see how long it takes, okay? Because the best part about Cotton Cuts, I think we can all agree, is that the clues come pre-cut, okay? So that saves me a ton of time, and it's going to make catching up a whole lot easier. All right, bye guys.
All right. Give us 1 second on Instagram, and we are now live everywhere. Happy Friday, everyone. Holy cow. Is it Friday, or is this are we in February, or is this the 75th day of January? I have no idea. It is Friday. It is 4:30. We are coming to you live on this special broadcast. We are interviewing Becca from Sew Becca, one of our best, longest, oldest ambassadors. She has been such a friend of Cotton Cuts. She has done so many puzzle mystery quilts. Her YouTube channel has grown so much in the time that we have been working together, and we are so proud of all the fantastic work she does, all the support she gives to us, as well as all of her other brands that she supports, as well as all the work she gives to you guys as followers. So today we get an exclusive interview with Becca. We're going to hear her story. We're going to learn about the colorway that was blind chosen for her, get a little background on that, and we're going to hear, where is she going? What does the future hold for Becca? If she could look in a crystal ball, where is she going to go? So, like we do with all of our lives, we're going to bring Becca on, and we're going to put her on Instagram and cross the fingers that it is able to work. So I believe in order to do that, I need to invite her. If everyone can give us just a few seconds. Technology is always our friend, and it always works. All right.
Well, I think it worked. It's connecting. Oh, and I had the volume turned down, and it turned it right back up.
I have learned, and this is, the things they teach you after the fact, is that when you're in the app, it's a different audio setting than when you're not in the app. All right. Okay. So welcome, Becca. Holy cow. It is Friday. So I have to thank you for being super flexible and adjusting your schedule for me. I apologize. Last weekend, we had a little bit of an incident with Dominic, everyone's favorite. He had a little accident at school. We had to take him to the ER. He bled out of his mouth for a couple hours, but he is absolutely A-okay. So I appreciate you, Becca. I know your mom. I know you get it. Thank you so much for your flexibility to reschedule on my behalf for today.
Not a problem. And I think my microphone is picking up the phone, even though I have it turned all the way down. So I am trying to find a place where we can get this set up.
It's okay. I am with you because I think I need mine to be a little higher. So maybe I'll just stand up or stand awkwardly at 3/4 of a height for what we're doing here. Okay, this is great. This okay. It's Friday. We're making it work, people. All right, I'm gonna sit on my leg. It works. Okay, so Becca. All right. So my second question for you, Becca. So you said birthday weekend. Is that like this weekend?
Yeah. Goodness, I hope that works. It's throwing me off that I can hear myself out of the phone. Yeah, my birthday's actually on Sunday.
Oh, well, happy birthday. Holy cow. Thanks. Is it a big number? Does it end in a 0 or a 5? Or is it one of those ones you just subtly slide under the door?
Listen, after a certain age, they're all big numbers, and we don't want to recognize any of them. But it does not end in a 0. It does not end in a 5. So we're going to pretend it doesn't happen.
Okay. I like that one. My 11-year-old, the one that got injured, his birthday is coming up in a week. And he's so like, oh my God, I have to have my party on my birthday. And I'm like, do you really? Like, really? Isn't it just another day? Like, I don't think that's super important. All right. So Becca, give us your origin story. Tell us, how did you come into the world of YouTube and creating this amazing channel? Give us how it all started.
Okay. So for me, it started years ago. I never thought I would sew. I had friends, I like to craft, and I've tried just about every craft that's out there,
Mhm.
and none of them stuck. And I had a friend that was sewing, and she convinced me to come to one of her sip and sew events. And so I joined, I came out there, and honestly, just like everybody else, I was bit by the bug the same night. I made, I think, a little cam snap gift card holder or something.
Mhm.
And I went out and bought a sewing machine that weekend. I never intended to quilt. My
Okay.
intention was always to make things that were practical and useful. So I was thinking I was going to make clothes for my daughter. I was going to make purses. But what I didn't love about those, first of all, I had a very cheapo brother machine, which worked perfectly for the first year I had it, but it was hard to get all the layers for bags through that. And then for clothes, if I was off a quarter of an inch, it was not fitting my daughter and she was not wearing it. So all that time was wasted. So I started playing around with just like little blocks because it allowed me to deal with smaller pieces of fabric on the tiny table that I had in front of me. And before I realized what I was doing, I was actually building out quilt blocks. So I took a quilting class, but the way the YouTube channel kind of started for me is my friend that taught me kind of how to get started. She was teaching me how to thread the machine and change the needle. And these were things that I was deathly afraid of and never thought I would remember how to do. Well, you know what they say is if you can repeat it to somebody else, you're going to remember it.
Right.
So I get really excited when I learn something and I want to tell everybody. Sometimes I think that can make me come across a little, maybe a, a little type A, but
Okay.
it's just because I'm so excited to share the information with people. So what I did, I went home, I figured out how to change the needle on the machine. I took a video and I posted it to YouTube because in my head, I was going to teach everybody how to sew. And they were all going to need to know how to change the needle on their machine. And this way I wasn't going to forget either. So I
Okay.
made the
I love
video,
it.
I put it up. Yeah, I made the video, I put it up there, and I had intended to make more videos, and life got in the way, and I never did. A
Mhm.
couple years go by, and I just happened to be thinking about uploading another video of Zoe doing something that I thought was silly and cute. And I saw that the video had like 20 or 30,000 views. For a channel that had nothing,
Mhm.
that was a pretty big deal for me. And I thought, well, maybe I can do this YouTube thing. So I didn't really know where I wanted to start. I really wanted to be able to teach. I wanted to be able to share what I was learning. I wanted to be able to share my projects, but I was really nervous to call myself a teacher of any sort because I was still learning myself. And I didn't want anybody to think that I thought I was better than anybody or that I knew it all because I certainly didn't. So I just kind of started just sharing and just vlogging my journey as I go, doing live streams, opening boxes, sewing projects when I got them. But I think over the years, I've kind of embraced more of the teaching and the education side of things.
Right.
I don't do that all the time, but it is something that I'm very passionate about and I want to do more of.
Right. So I asked that question to everyone that we've talked to, and everyone starts out like, we want to be the peanut butter. We want to get everywhere. We want to do unboxings and we want to do this and we want to do this and we want to do this. And what
Yeah.
we're finding is that the most successful people are the ones that specialize and that hyper
Yes.
focus. And then you can focus all your energy in one direction. You're all
That's
going
right.
the same place. All the content is aligned. People know what they're getting when they go to your YouTube channel. It's consistent in messaging. And it's
That's right.
interesting that you said the needle video had 20,000 views. So we're constantly looking at YouTube as an extension of Google search, right?
Mhm.
And how many people are like, how do I change my needle? And of course, it's going
Mm.
to pop to the top of all the Google search. And so that's fascinating that you just put a video out there and all of a sudden you had an
Yep.
impact. Awesome.
Those how-to videos, right? If you think about it, before I became a YouTuber, I've used that term loosely, but before I started getting into the whole world of YouTube, I
Mhm.
went to YouTube solely to answer questions, right? How do I do this? How do I do that? And usually there'd be like a 10-minute video, and I only wanted to watch a minute, 30
Yep.
seconds and get my answer and get out and go do what I needed to do. But
Right.
now, since COVID, YouTube's taken on this whole entertainment aspect too. So
Mhm.
where I like to see what I'm doing, I want it to be education, but I want it to be entertainment as well. I want those areas to overlap. So
Right.
I if you come to my channel and you're watching a video, I'm hoping that you're going to get a chuckle at some point during it, but I hope you also pick up something that'll help you in your journey.
Right. And I think Becca, that's one of the biggest strengths of your channel, right? Is it's you're learning stuff, you learn stuff, but then it's also very entertaining. Like I know I've watched several videos. Paula will come in and be like, oh my God, I watched this video and I snorted out loud. Right. It's funny, but the funny sticks with you, right? And so all of that is, I mean, I love it. I think it's fantastic. So talk to us about community building, right? So there's a lot of different ways to build the community and build the following. How do you think about building community for your folks on YouTube?
Honestly, that's such a hard question because I still don't know what that is.
Okay.
All I know is I'm making content. I love it when people join. I love it when people watch my videos, and I like to be able to engage with as many people as possible. But I don't know what it means to build a big community because I don't know what I'm doing with that, right? Other
Okay.
than just interacting with other quilters. I think if I were to look at one of the positives that's come out of this is just the reality that we can all take a look at everybody and realize that nobody's perfect. We're all growing, we're all learning. Even the people that have been doing this for 20 or 30 years, they're still picking stuff up along the way. And it's okay to just get started where you are. I don't I think that's the biggest thing is hopefully I'm just encouraging you to try.
Mhm. So I think approachability is one of the ways in which you build community. Yes, you're approachable, right? It's real.
Okay, there you go. Thank
Right?
you.
I mean, that's one of your, again, one of your strengths of your channel, Becca, right? Because I know when I was getting back into quilting, 10-ish plus years ago, YouTube was in its infancy. And I would watch these quilters produce these masterpieces.
Oh
And
my
I'd be
gosh,
like, oh
right?
my God, like I am here and they are like way out there. Like I feel like an imposter watching your channel. Like, please run out of bobbin thread. Oh my God.
Right.
Please let the fabric get sucked into the machine. Oh my God, your camera is at the perfect angle and the lighting is hitting you. Like, that is not my life. Like, I'm getting vomited on by my 2-year-old today, right? Like,
Right.
and it's just
Yep.
that gap between reality. And I think that connecting that makes everyone feel like they can accomplish what you're doing. I think that is definitely a strength of the content you're putting out and building community around.
Well, I appreciate that. And
Yeah.
that is one of the things that I want to make sure that I always come across as. I want to be real. Who you see on camera, I want that to be the person that you meet. I want to be me. I don't want to be something different. So,
Right.
and you're right. Like I don't know how many times I watched people put videos together and I was like, man, I can never do that quilt because I'm not that good. But what they don't know, and I'm sure you can attest to, is behind the scenes, there's so many mistakes that are made and close up that quilt is going to have points that don't match up. So I
Right.
just try to be really real in the fact that I'm going to mess it up and we're just going to deal with it, move on.
Right, but that's life, right? I mean, it's quilting,
Exactly.
it's life. Like you can't dwell on the little things and making every single part of your life perfect. That is not joy. All right, so
Absolutely.
Becca, crystal ball. Got a crystal ball right here. Where
Okay.
is your YouTube channel going? Where's the future? Where's where are you taking it next?
Well, so I mentioned a few minutes ago that I really have a passion for teaching and I want to lean more into that. So over the next couple years, what I really would like to be able to do is continue teaching more. I want to be able to provide more content that's helping you work through projects in step-by-step tutorials. Because I can't talk. If I've learned anything over the past few months, the videos that are performing really well for me are the ones where I'm showing you how to do something.
Mhm.
Even if it's basic, just a quilt block, whatever. If I'm teaching, those videos are performing. And so I think I want to lean more into that, but I don't want to lose the entertainment aspect. And I definitely don't want to stop the Friday night live streams.
Great.
As far as the channel is concerned, like where I would like to see that, I would love to see the subscriber count double or triple. That would be great. But I don't think that's going to change what I do. I'm not giving up my 9 to 5. This is not going to be a full-time job for me. This is a side hustle for the next decade or so.
It's interesting. So there was definitely a comment while you were talking about how don't give up your live streams. They're entertaining and amusing. So that is a fantastic element of what you do. But I love the strategy of like you want to put out that content to get the people, the newbies that might not know, to build confidence, but then convert them into community, right? So that way they
Yeah.
can be part of the Becca family. And it's interesting. When my kids were in kindergarten, the number one profession they put down was YouTuber. And you're like, this is not my gig. Like this is but like they all have this impression that like we're gonna make millions of dollars on YouTube, kids. And I'm kind of thinking you're 5. By the time you get to be 25, there will be no YouTube anymore. There's gonna be something else. We're all speaking to a different place, right? So
There will be, right? Social media is going to change, and how we absorb our content, how we absorb content's going to change. So whatever I do here on YouTube, while it's fun for now, I want to be able to take what I'm learning and what I'm doing and evolve that to wherever the future is going to be. 10 years from now, if there's no YouTube, there's no social media platform, I want to be able to take the time that I spent learning how to teach quilters and maybe translate that into whatever the future is, whether it's in person or a different social media platform. Absolutely. I want to be able to roll with it. So,
all right. So from your perspective,
sure.
what are the biggest trends that you see in quilting, right? Things come, things go, they come in and out of style. What is the biggest trends that you are seeing in your world?
It's interesting. I know that I don't love Tula Pink as much. And so I have spent the past X number of years avoiding Tula Pink, except for once in a while she'll have a line and I'm like, yes, I'm all on, let's go. But recently I've really started getting into the bright colors just in time for people to go back to the blues and the creams and the greens. When did that happen?
Taupe and sage and navy and mustard, like bring it all back, people. That is what is hip. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally missed the bandwagon on that. I'm just now getting to the point where I'm enjoying those bright colors, and now we're going back to the florals and the creams,
Because
and I'm just like, what?
you were living in a batik and reproduction phase, and then you're like, oh no, I'm moving to the modern bright stuff. But just kidding, now modern is moving back to where you were. Oh my gosh. So that's my hot take, right? Is the definition of modern is changing. And I feel like that's kind of the biggest thing we're seeing right now. And it's called this grand millennial style. And it's this, 25 to 35-year-old quilter that loves the solids and loves
Yes.
the natural colors and sewing with curves and very simple designs. And all the people that are like in the modern quilt guild that I go to that are still sewing with like the Alison Glass and the Juicy Juice, I'm like, guys, like the train wreck is coming. I can see it. Yes. Because we'll put out, we always have, we'll get to the mystery quilt here in a second, but we always have some like Morris & Co. reproduction mystery quilts. And when we look at the people buying it, it's interesting because it's like 65 plus, but then also like 35 and under. And so when the people are posting on the profiles, it's like that meeting of the worlds is coming, folks. And it's going to be fun. It'll be interesting to see for sure. Okay. So let us talk about the mystery quilt. So you have been a big fan since the very beginning. You were a customer before you were an ambassador, and you have done amazing things with it. So talk to us about your puzzle mystery quilt journey.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm so lucky to have been able to do these for a long time. So I want to say thank you for including me in that. And I don't think you realized how much it meant to me when you reached out and I had less than 1,000 subscribers and you asked me to be an ambassador. So if I've never said thank you for that, thank you for that. My journey began because I was a new quilter. I had only been doing it for maybe about a year or so. I didn't really know what I was doing. Oh, funny story. I had joined a block of the month with my local quilt shop. Nobody taught me. I didn't even know how to do a 1/4 of an inch. I learned how to do a 1/4 of an inch from the paper that you put in the Puzzle Mystery quilt that I did. But I went and did this block of the month and I didn't know any better. So I was cutting all my fabric with pinking shears because I didn't know any better. So anyway, I was eager to put a quilt together, but I didn't know where to start. And there are 2 YouTubers that I watched. Yvette was one of them, and Ranger K, I think her name was Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen.
She was doing one too.
Yeah.
So I watched both of them, and I honestly don't remember which code I used, but I was watching both of them. And they both were the reason why I decided I wanted to jump in. So I jumped in for one, I got it finished, and I was super impressed because it was the only block of the month that I ever finished, which was a feat for me. So when the next one came around, I was like, okay, I want to give them both credit. So I signed up for 2 colorways and I used Ranger K and Yvette's codes because I wanted them both to get the credit because they both kind of converted me. I finished one of the colorways. The other one never got finished, but it was when I was doing that one. I can't remember the name of it, but when I was I think it was the 3rd one that you did. That's when you guys reached out, and I was beyond excited to be able to do it for you. And I've just kind of gone from there.
Yes, it's awesome. And we appreciate your support too, Becca. It's one of those
Absolutely.
I like, and it's kind of our strategy. I like finding those people that are just like right below the threshold, about to break through. And like,
Mm,
how can we all go the same place together, right? All boats float. It's
yep.
not competition. There's nothing,
Right.
anything bad here. It's like, who can we help boost that's also going to help us boost along the way? And like Ian, right? Ian has come so far in the time you've been partnering with him. I know you and he are real tight. We'll get to that in a
Mhm.
second. But right, it's one of those like everyone does well together if we all support each other. And I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
And that's why we continue to love hearing your story and all the things that you share with us and all the people you bring along and all the community. You are such a huge champion of ours, and we appreciate that so much. Okay, so you and Ian had a thing. So we got Tree of Life shit today, guys. I apologize if I am tired. It has been a very long week up in here getting all these clue ones and whole quilts out the door. But Becca is signed up for Tree of Life. Becca,
Mhm.
tell us how you chose to pick your colorway for Tree of Life.
I didn't.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. You
So
probably chose not to choose, I think
I
is how.
did, I did.
Yeah.
And this has been something that keeps going through my head. I've talked with other quilters about this for years. So this isn't a new thing. There's been other ambassadors that I've had conversations with where the colorway comes up and I'm like, it would be really cool if I picked your colorway and you picked mine. And it never happened. For whatever reason, it never happened. Well, last one, when we started picking the colorways for Carnival, I just couldn't decide. I couldn't pick out the colorway that I wanted. But Ian had already picked his. So I was like, Ian, pick mine. And he kind of narrowed it down. I ended up doing a colorway that he picked. But we started talking about that. I was like, what if I picked yours and you picked mine? He was like, yes. And so we definitely did that. And then we had to decide, did we want to love the other person or did we want to give them a hard time? So Ian challenged me just a little bit. I'm definitely not doing what I would have picked for myself, but I couldn't pass up giving him the colorway that he got because I think
Right.
he would have been very upset if he would have done anything else.
So we talked about this at the reveal in November. And I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I know for sure what I would pick if I was picking for the two of you, because I know your guys' taste so well. And like
Yeah.
you played the script. Ian was like, I'm gonna challenge her a little bit. I'm gonna give her yes. Okay, so I just got Paula, like so Paula is my social media person, and she just like came by with a note. And so she's curious as to what colorway you would have picked if you would have gotten to have control over the outcome.
Well, wait a minute. Before I tell you, Kim, what would I have picked?
So you would have probably done Purple Mist.
Yep, 100%. The
Yeah,
purple
yeah.
batiks. 100%. I love doing batiks for the Puzzle Mystery Quilt.
Mhm.
Honestly, I think it's the best thing because they press nicely, they're crisp, they feel good. There's no wrong side. You don't have to stress about it. And I'm just a really big fan of batiks. So that is exactly what I would have chose. But I felt like I was cornering the market on the batiks because every time it came around, I was doing a batik. So I wanted to take a step back. I did tell Ian, spoiler alert, I did tell Ian, I was like, whatever you pick, don't pick the purple mist. Don't pick the batik because that's the one that I would have chose. And I want to let another ambassador do that one. So,
Right. Right.
yep,
No, I mean it's one of these like this is the Becca colorway. She's going to do the purple batik.
yep.
So from a production perspective, we love die cutting those batiks. They die cut so nicely. They don't
Right?
fray. They don't shed. They're less than pleasant to count because there's no right side, wrong side. So that is, I mean, anytime we have an issue, it's always like, okay, we're supposed to send 8, but only 7 came off the die cutter because batiks just seem to vaporize. I don't know why. And
It
so that's
happens.
always the one we struggle to get that one. And but I mean, you know us, like we replace it. Like that's one of those
Yep.
things we just do. We just send out the parts, especially the batiks, because we know consciously that they're gonna be a problem.
Yep, yep, yep. And I've had that happen where even as an ambassador, some of my clues are missing a piece. Things happen. But the neat thing that I love is that you guys have streamlined it, right? So if there is something missing, if there is something not right, you just pop onto the website. There's a really quick form that you fill out. It takes you 30 seconds. You can do it from your phone. And in like 2 days, you'll have the replacement in your mail. There's no muss, no fuss. It just happens. So
Right. I mean,
love
I
it.
get it. Like we make mistakes. I would
Yep,
rather put the parts and pieces and put a stamp on it and get it out to you and get you back to sewing than be like, I
yep.
got to charge you 30 cents. Like that's stupid. That makes no business sense. Like it'd be like, too bad, so sad. You're doing this awesome project. Like we want you to finish. We
Yeah,
like you guys getting to the finish line. And so in order to enable that, we'll take the time to put the 2 pieces in the mail and get everyone back on track.
I love
All
it.
right. So Paula would be sad if we didn't talk about your sewing room, because evidently you had a video that was a tour. She thinks it's the coolest thing. She came after watching it and was just like, Becca's sewing room is the best.
Well, I'm actually in the process of, I had a migraine this week, so I wasn't able to finish the editing, but I'm actually in the process of finishing the edits for an updated studio room, sewing room tour that'll come out next week. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. But yeah, she messaged me about that when we were setting up the interview. She's like, I watched your video. Oh my goodness. I was like, thanks.
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so all this is fantastic, Becca. It is absolutely amazing. You have yet to talk about your pattern writing muscle,
Oh, I know. So
right?
I'm not a very good, listen, and maybe this is a pro, maybe this is a con, I don't know. I am not always comfortable talking about myself. It's something that I struggle with. I don't sell myself or give myself as much credit as I
That's
feel
what
like
I'm
I
here
should.
for, right? All
I
boats
know,
in
I
the same.
know, I know,
Yeah.
I know. So I apologize. So pattern writing. By trade, I work in IT. I am a program manager, so very technical, used to managing large teams. That's what I do. And I never talk about it on my channel because I just don't want to talk about work on my channel. So you're
Right.
getting the scoop here. I'm in IT and
Your,
I'm a program manager.
your channel,
but
your
to,
choices. You get to do all that.
yep.
Yep.
So to get to that point, I have had to have a number of years of experience in the IT world, and some of that has been technical writing. And technical writing, I think, translates very well into the world of patterns. You have to be able to succinctly tell somebody what to do without confusing them. And that's kind of it's a skill that I have learned because of the IT world, but I want to be able to combine that with quilting. So what I've been doing, and I'm not turning them out like crazy, but what I'm trying to do is just come up with very simple, very beginner friendly patterns that I can visualize and type out instructions for and test myself and then just put them out there. I have maybe like 5. It's not a ton, and I don't have tons that are just going to drop over the next couple of days because I still have to do my 9 to 5 job.
Right.
But it's an area that I've always wanted to do, and I'm excited to start leaning into that a little bit more.
So you bring up an interesting point, right? You're an IT. I'm an
Mhm.
engineer. I can't tell you the number of SOPs I had to write that had to
Oh
pass
my
the same
God.
inspection, right? So when I write patterns and when I'm editing patterns here, like my level of detail is like real high because I'm used to a world like if we mess up a medical device or pharmaceutical, someone dies. And so it's just
Absolutely.
interesting the number of technical people that have become pattern writers because the
Mhm.
mindset is so similar. I mean, mind you, sewing fabric is not the same thing as injecting someone with lead particulate, but right, you have to have that attention to detail because everyone learns at a different level. Everyone follows the pattern
That's
differently.
right.
And I love the approachable patterns because we've all been there. We're in the quilt shop. We
Yep.
see this quilt. We love it. We're excited. And we open it up and it's like, how do I even begin to cut the fabric? Right? They're written at
100%.
very different
100%.
levels. Yes.
100%. I won't mention the pattern writer. I won't mention the pattern, but I will tell you, my mom is here. She's been here for a little over a month. She's going to be here for another month or so,
Mhm.
and she wants to sew. So when she comes, I get her set up and we work on a project together. Well, she couldn't figure out what she wanted to do. So we pulled some fabric off the shelves and I got what should have been a very easy pattern to put together. The cutting instructions were wrong, and you had to read through paragraphs to figure out what the pattern writer was telling you to do. And I was like, there's a better way to do this. Like, you don't need to give me all that detail. It wasn't there. And that makes me sad.
Yes.
So
Oh my gosh. There's a very popular pattern writer that writes in prose. And the engineer in me has to like highlight the meaningful sections, like
yes.
just hit me on the nose, like 6 triangles. Okay, that I can do. I don't need to like align your fabric up on this side and like
Nope, nope, nope.
6
Listen,
triangles. I got it. Yes.
I can figure out how to cut a square. Tell me how many squares I need.
Right. All of that. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, Becca. We have been talking for a long time. It is Friday afternoon. Is there any final thoughts you would like to share with anyone about the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt and the quilt that you're going to be making?
So if you're thinking about it, then you need to just do it. Just pull the Band-Aid, get your mystery quilt. I'm going to tell you, if you're going to take the time to do it, you may think that the small is the way that you want to go. And I could understand why you think that, because you think it's a smaller clue, it's a smaller quilt. But I'm going to tell you, just for a little bit money more, you can make a large. And if you get the additional borders that go around it, it's going to fit on a queen size bed. And you're going to be able to make that over the course of 10 months. And it's going to be just as easy as a small. So if you're still thinking about the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, you're not quite sure if you want to do one, just try it. Just try one. And I would go all in with the large with extra borders. And if that's a bit of a financial chunk for you and you can't come up with if that's too much for you all at once, you can break it down into 10 payments.
That's awesome advice, Becca. We always get asked, this is one of the common questions, what's the difference between a small and a large? A lot of people seem to think that or have been thought that it's you just blow it up, right? It's the same design, but just on a bigger scale. And actually, the core of both designs in the small and large is the same, but the large has additional elements that accentuate different features to it. And so it's really similar scale, it's similar complexity. You're absolutely right. The incremental month is very small. And then you get this giant quilt at the end that is amazing. I've always done a large. I feel like for the small, like a little bit more, and I might as well do a large. So that is fantastic advice.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. And when you're looking at those color wheels, Kim, didn't you say that the fabric that's in like the 2 o'clock position is the most prominent color?
For this one, I believe that's true. It changes for each mystery, but I do believe that the 2 o'clock wheel is the one that is the most predominant in this. And so,
well, maybe that'll help.
Oh my, yes, for sure. If you like that fabric, definitely grab it on the color wheel. And even 2 different colorways. I mean, Becca, you've done enough to know like 2 different colorways are 2 very different quilts.
Yes.
I mean, you and Ian have had side by sides and they look like very different quilts. Okay, so we do have one quick question that I know you and I can answer. Who creates the patterns for the mystery quilt?
Oh, Sheila Christensen.
Yeah, my gosh, we do have the mystery quilter, right? So Sheila is a quilter from New Zealand, and she does all of our design work. She does all the color coordinating for us. She gives it to us, and we get to spread it all around the world. So Sheila is the brainchild behind all of it. She sees the quilt and can break it down into 10 puzzle pieces that make it very hard to put together in the end. Mutual friend Ian has tried many times.
He got close.
He did. He got this close last time. But okay, so we've been doing this almost 7 years. I think we're on 16 or 17. Nobody has ever guessed it out of the gate. And that's been
I don't know. I think he's going to do it this time.
You think he's going to? Oh, no.
I think he's getting too close. Every time he gets a little bit closer. I think
this
one
has some design elements in it that are meant to trick people. So
so you just gave him a tip, and now he's going to watch and definitely get
it. So by saying that, right, he's going to be like, was she really saying it, or was she just trying to throw me off? And so now he's going to turn on that for 10 months until he gets to the end. So
it's a whole thing that he does. He loves to try to guess, and he even puts a video out talking about why he thinks that. He does the whole thing. And I'm completely on the other spectrum. I wait until I get the clue, and then I'm like, oh, that's how it looks. I don't have time to worry about that.
So funny story here, right? So when we pick the colorways, we see the finished quilts. And then like 12 months go by, and we see the finished quilts, and we're like, I don't remember that. Like, that's how that looks. Oh my God, it's even more bad. It's even better now than it was when we were picking the digital images. And literally, like, you could ask me today, you could give me all the carnival puzzle pieces together, and I still wouldn't be able to recreate that quilt. Like, it's so far into the future. So anyways, okay. So Becca, tell us, how can people find you? How can they catch up with your awesomeness?
I'm on YouTube, Sew Becca, can't talk. Also on Instagram, obviously, as Sew Becca. I do predominantly post to YouTube. I usually try to do one live stream every week, Friday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then I like to upload around one pre-recorded, edited, polished video a week. That can be a tutorial, that could be a vlog, that could be a tip and a trick. It could be a number of different things, but it'll be one recorded video a week for the most part. Any shorts or reels that I do, I'll put those both on YouTube and Instagram. I will tell you, I am not great at posting on Instagram as much as I should. I need to get better with it. It's not that I don't know how, it's that I just don't think about it. So, but yeah, I'm on all the platforms as Sew Becca, TikTok, Instagram. I think I even have a Twitch account, YouTube, all of it, but predominantly I focus on YouTube.
All right. So
listen,
okay. So this morning, So this morning, we had the amazing Sean Ironmonger on, and he
I
explained to us
watched,
what
yeah.
Discord was. Can
Yeah.
you explain to everyone what Twitch is for those that
It
don't know what Twitch is?
it's basically like YouTube, but how it got its claim to fame is gamers. That's where they would go to kind of live stream their gameplay. And it's a whole different ecosystem. You can watch people, but you tip and pay and buy subscribe. It's weird. I can't explain the monetization form, but the
Right.
whole thing is it's just live streaming, and it got its claim to fame with gamers, and other people have taken a hold of it and they're out there. There are a couple of people that I watch on Twitch that actually quilt.
Right. Right. So similar. I was thinking it was all gamers because my kids were like, "Hey, let's watch the gamers on Twitch." And I know like it was bought by Amazon. But just in the past like 2 or 3 weeks, I've
Yep.
seen crafters moving
Yep.
into Twitch. And I
Yep.
saw this and it went viral. So now this dude has like hundreds of thousands. But it was a guy just hanging out in his garage etching into styrofoam on Twitch. And he was like etching
Wow.
these like collages in styrofoam. And he was so tickled pink when he had one person and he just like engaged with this one person and that little video clip of like the wholesomeness of it. And he has like 77,000 followers on Twitch. Like it's
That's
crazy.
awesome.
It
That's
is.
awesome.
Yeah. So it's interesting. These platforms that start out as gaming platforms are now places where I can just hang out with someone and watch them craft into foam and quilt.
Yep.
And so, yeah, awesome things. Okay. So Becca, thank you so much for spending so much time with us today. I appreciate
No
you.
problem.
I appreciate your flexibility. You're doing awesome stuff, guys. You definitely want to check out Becca. She is awesome and amazing. All right, everyone.
Awesome.
That's it for us for today. Our next, I think we're what next week? Yeah, I don't even know. So I got someone who's managing that schedule. Oh, hold on. I had a note. Again, this is how Paula works, right? She just passes me the notes. I know everyone recognizes this pad of paper. This is
Yep.
everyone's favorite. Oh, sorry, it's upside down. This is everyone's favorite pad of paper. Evidently Jessica, my amazing member care, she takes care of everyone and all of us. Jessica's amazing. She wants to know what kind of sewing machine do you have?
Oh, you picked a bad day to ask me. I I have a Juki. It's a TL
Uh-huh.
2010Q. I love this machine until something doesn't work, and then I hate this machine. And something has stopped working, and the past couple of times that has happened, I have literally sat here and thought, I'm going to go buy the baby lock version of this machine. That way, when it breaks, I can take it to the baby lock dealer that is 15 minutes from my house and he can fix it. It's a Juki. I do love the Juki. I love the way it looks. I love the way it sews. But right now, it's not threading the needle by itself. So I have
That's
to do
fair.
it. So
Like
I'm a little
everyone
mad.
else. But like everyone else, you have backup machines just in case this one goes down. I have a
Actually,
baby
I
lock.
don't.
You
I don't.
don't?
Nope,
Oh
nope, nope.
my gosh.
That's not true. I have 4 sewing machines in my room. One of them is over my shoulder.
Yeah, I
You
was gonna
can't
say
see it on Instagram.
one of
Yep.
mine is over my shoulder here. Yeah.
Display only. Yes, it works. No,
Yeah.
I don't sew on it. Maybe one day. I have a long arm. Can't piece with that. Maybe I should try. I don't. But I do have a baby lock machine. And so maybe that's a backup, but it's my mom's sewing machine. So when she's here, I'm done. If this is done, I'm done.
So here's your video, right? I want to see you piece on the long arm.
Like how would I do that? Like hold it and just nudge it with my nose? I don't know.
I would love to see you try. I think everyone would love to see you try.
I would like to keep all my fingers, so
I think
we'll
that's a
have to
great
think about
idea
that.
too. That's a great idea too. But I mean, so you could in theory like put your pieces down assembled and then like stitch over the top of them. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
There
this
has
is
to
how
be a
my
way,
brain
Becca.
works.
Come on now. We can figure
No,
this out.
there is a way. So follow me on this.
Okay.
My mom will say something, well, somebody will say something, and in the back of my head, the IT person is always trying to be like, oh, there's a way, and I want to solve the problem. So she had mentioned something about yeah, right. She had mentioned something about Quilt as You Go when she first got here, and since then, I'm like, I bet I could do a Quilt as You Go on the long arm. Why couldn't I load a backing and a batting and just get a jelly roll and use my channel locks to stitch it down, Quilt as You Go, boom. So technically that would be piecing.
Right.
Maybe I could do that.
Well, and if you think about it, a long arm is no different than foundation paper piecing. Like you sew the two together, flop it over, sew the two together, flop it over, sew the two together.
Yep. And Teresa
Mhm.
just put in YouTube, maybe Quilt as You Go on the long arm. So
There you
great
go. I
minds.
feel like all right. right. Okay. We're going to cut us off there. No more passing me Post-it notes, people. We have consumed so much of Becca's time. Thank you, Becca. You are awesome. You are amazing. She has a live stream tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Hop on over, say hi, meet all the awesome people that love Becca as much as we do. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Bye. Now, this is the awkward thing where I got to come in and like
I
grab
know,
the
right?
phone.
Same thing, like hit the right buttons and not crash. Okay.
Right.